Let's look at the clinical data in the United States right now, because there is a single astonishing statistic that completely shatters the narrative we have been sold about getting older. When we analyze the cellular biology of human skin, the research reveals that up to 90% of the visible changes we associate with aging, the deep creases, the loss of structural volume, the thinning and fragility, have absolutely nothing to do with the year printed on your birth certificate. 90%. That means only 10% of what you see in the mirror is dictated by your genetics or the unavoidable passage of time. The rest, the overwhelming majority of your skin's vitality, is driven by epigenetic and environmental factors that are entirely within your control. As a clinical researcher who has spent years studying the mechanisms of human longevity, I cannot overstate the profound urgency and immense hope embedded in that fact. We are not passengers on a slow, inevitable decline. We are the active architects of our cellular health, and the idea that your skin must simply give up and degrade as you enter your 70s, 80s, or 90s is a biological fallacy. Think about the implications of this. For decades, the medical and cosmetic establishments have quietly encouraged a sense of passive acceptance. You are told that wrinkles are just part of the deal, a natural tax you pay for living a long life. But from a clinical perspective, that is simply not true. When I look at skin tissue under a microscope, the cells of a vibrant, healthy 85-year-old who has optimized their internal environment can look virtually indistinguishable from the cells of someone decades younger. The chronological age is just a number. The biological age of your skin is a dynamic, shifting reality that responds to the instructions you give it every single day. The deep lines and the loss of that youthful bounce are not a reflection of your intrinsic worth or your energy. They are the cumulative result of what longevity scientists call the exposome, the total sum of environmental stressors, metabolic waste products, and oxidative damage your body has processed over a lifetime. This is a paradigm shifting moment for how we approach your vitality. I want you to completely discard the notion that it is too late to make a difference. The human body is a miraculous, regenerating machine. Every 28 to 40 days, your epidermis, the outer layer of your skin, completely replaces itself. Even the deeper layer, the dermis, where the structural scaffolding of collagen and elastin resides, is constantly undergoing a process of remodeling and repair. Your skin is not a static canvas that slowly fades. It is a living, breathing organ that is desperately waiting for the right raw materials and the right signals to rebuild itself. The urgency here is not driven by fear, but by opportunity. Every day that you provide your body with the precise clinical tools it needs, you are actively instructing your cells to behave like younger cells. When we talk about reaching 90 without the severe wrinkling that society expects, we are not talking about chasing vanity or trying to look like a teenager. We are talking about reclaiming your biological resilience. We are talking about aligning your external appearance with the incredible, boundless energy and wisdom you possess on the inside. You are in the prime of your life, equipped with a profound understanding of who you are, and your physical vessel should reflect that strength, not mask it. The cosmetic industry wants you to believe that the solution comes in a $300 jar of topical cream that barely penetrates the skin barrier. But true skin longevity, the kind that keeps you radiant and robust well into your 9th and 10th decades, is an inside job. It is a metabolic masterpiece that we construct at the cellular level. By understanding exactly how your skin matrix degrades, we can deploy targeted, science-backed strategies to halt that degradation and actually reverse the biological clock of your tissues. The realization that you hold the power to dictate 90% of your skin's future changes everything. It shifts the power dynamic entirely back to you. We are going to look past the surface and dive into the magnificent architecture of your body. We will explore the very foundations of your cellular structure, understanding that every meal, every movement, and every metabolic choice is a powerful signal sent directly to your skin cells. You have an incredible runway ahead of you, and it is my mission to ensure that every year you add to your life is lived with absolute vibrancy and structural strength. I know, however, that when we talk about boundless cellular energy and structural resilience, it can sometimes feel a bit disconnected from your daily physical reality, especially when you are navigating the very real, tangible changes that accompany a wonderfully long, active life. I speak with so many vibrant individuals in my clinical research who tell me that their spirit feels 35, yet they wake up in the morning dealing with lower backaches, knees that protest when climbing stairs, or a general stiffness that makes it harder to get moving than it used to be. If you are managing chronic pain or finding that your mobility requires a bit more intention and care these days, I want to validate exactly what you are experiencing. You are not imagining it, and it is not a failing on your part. Your body is a magnificent, hardworking vessel that has carried you through decades of triumphs, challenges, and adventures, and it is entirely natural that the tissues bearing the brunt of that journey might need extra support. But here's the fascinating part that connects your morning joint stiffness to the changes you see in your skin. The biological mechanisms driving both of these experiences are deeply intertwined, and understanding this connection is the key to reclaiming your physical comfort and your youthful skin simultaneously. When you feel that stiffness in your knees or your hands, what you are actually experiencing on a microscopic level is a change in your body's extracellular matrix. This matrix is the biological scaffolding that holds your entire physical structure together, supporting your joints, your organs, and most visibly, your skin. Within this scaffolding, there are master builder cells called fibroblasts. Think of fibroblasts as the tireless architects and construction workers of your skin and connective tissues. In your earlier decades, these fibroblasts were operating at peak efficiency, working around the clock to churn out high quality collagen, which provides structural firmness, and elastin, which provides that essential snapback quality. But as we accumulate more life experience, these cellular factories begin to slow down. They do not die off, they simply become sluggish, entering a state we call cellular senescence. They produce less collagen, and the elastin they do manage to create is often fragmented, disorganized, and weaker. This biological slowdown is exactly why your skin begins to thin and why it takes much longer for a sleep crease on your cheek to fade in the morning. The elastin depletion means your skin loses its rubber band-like recoil, and a drop in new collagen production means the plump, dense foundation beneath the surface begins to hollow out. Imagine a mattress where the inner springs have lost their tension and the supportive padding has worn thin. The surface fabric is going to sag and wrinkle because the structural support underneath is compromised. This is not a superficial issue that a cosmetic cream can fix. It is a structural reality occurring deep within the dermis. Yet, the slowing of your fibroblasts is only half of the biological equation. The other half involves a microscopic process that is arguably the greatest accelerator of both joint pain and skin wrinkling: the formation of advanced glycation end-products, appropriately known in the longevity field by the acronym AGEs. Glycation occurs when excess sugar molecules in your bloodstream attach themselves to proteins and fats without the moderation of an enzyme. Because collagen and elastin are the most abundant proteins in your entire body, they are prime targets for these rogue sugar molecules. When a sugar molecule binds to a pristine, flexible collagen fiber, it creates a cross-link, effectively caramelizing the tissue. The once supple collagen becomes rigid, brittle, and highly prone to breaking. This is why you feel stiff in the morning, and it is the exact same reason your skin loses its flexibility and forms deep, permanent creases. Your tissue is literally becoming stiffer from the inside out. The accumulation of these AGEs acts like a microscopic rust on the structural beams of your skin, compromising its integrity and making it highly susceptible to the mechanical stress of smiling, frowning, and simply living. Understanding this cellular cascade, the sluggish fibroblast, the depleting elastin, and the stiffening effects of glycation is incredibly empowering because it moves the conversation away from inevitable decline and places it firmly in the realm of biological mechanics. Mechanics can be adjusted and repaired. We can absolutely optimize the internal environment these cells live in. If we know that your fibroblasts are just sleeping, we can use targeted clinical strategies to wake them back up. If we know that glycation is turning your collagen brittle, we can intervene in your metabolic pathways to halt the formation of these AGEs and actually clear out the damaged tissue. You do not have to accept chronic stiffness or deep structural wrinkling as your permanent reality. Because once we address the biology at its root, your body's natural capacity for regeneration is astonishing. This astonishing capacity for regeneration brings us face to face with one of the most pervasive and expensive illusions in modern wellness: the cosmetic industry's aggressive promise that you can reverse biological aging from the outside in. For decades, multi-billion-dollar corporations have been selling us a beautiful, elegantly packaged fiction. They tell you that if you simply invest in the right luxurious cream, the heaviest night serum, or the most exotic topical lotion, you can erase the structural changes happening deep within your skin. But as a clinical researcher who looks at the actual histology of human tissue, I have to be completely candid with you. This is biologically impossible. Let me explain exactly why, so you never have to waste another dime on empty promises. Your skin is brilliantly designed by nature to be an impenetrable fortress. Its primary job, specifically the outermost layer called the stratum corneum, is to keep foreign pathogens, bacteria, and environmental toxins out of your internal system. It is a highly effective, tightly woven barrier. Therefore, when a skincare company formulates a heavy cream packed with massive, complex molecules like whole collagen or elastin and tells you to rub it on your face, those molecules simply sit on the surface. They are physically too large to penetrate the fortress. They cannot bypass the epidermal barrier, let alone travel down into the deep dermal layer where your sluggish fibroblasts actually live. You are essentially painting the outside of a house whose foundation needs repair and expecting the structural integrity to magically improve. It provides a temporary superficial hydration, a plumping effect that washes off the moment you cleanse your face, but it does absolutely nothing to change the biological age of your cells or stimulate genuine cellular repair. I know how incredibly frustrating it can be to follow the advice of glossy magazines and well-meaning beauty clerks, spending hard-earned money and precious time only to look in the mirror and feel like nothing is working. I want you to release any guilt or frustration about that right now, because you were simply operating on the flawed information you were given. Think about the countless products lining the shelves of department stores, promising clinical miracles in 28 days. I am incredibly curious about your own journey with this, so I would love it if you could leave a comment below and share what is the most outrageous claim you have ever seen on a skincare product. Or what has your personal experience been with these expensive cosmetic creams? Let's get a vibrant discussion going in the comments so we can all navigate these marketing traps together. And if this kind of clinical truth-telling is helpful to you and making sense so far, please go ahead and casually tap the like button on this video so I know we are on the right track and delivering exactly what you need. It is profoundly liberating when you realize that true radiance and structural firmness cannot be bought at a cosmetic counter. The truth is that lasting, profound skin regeneration is entirely an inside-out phenomenon. Remember those master builder cells we talked about, the fibroblasts? You cannot reach them from the outside, but you have a direct physiological superhighway to them from the inside, your bloodstream. Every single thing you ingest, digest, and absorb is broken down and delivered right to the doorstep of those cellular factories. When we talk about true cellular regeneration, we are talking about changing the biochemical signals that are traveling through your blood. Instead of applying a dead collagen molecule to dead surface skin cells, we want to provide your living, dynamic body with the precise amino acids, the targeted micronutrients, and the metabolic environment it requires to manufacture its own fresh, resilient collagen. We want to clear out the advanced glycation end products that are stiffening your matrix. And we do that by managing our internal metabolic pathways, not by applying a topical moisturizer. Your skin is quite literally a reflection of your internal metabolic health. because it is on the periphery of your body. It is the last organ to receive nutrients and the first to show signs of internal distress, inflammation, or deficiency. When you see a vibrant 90-year-old with glowing, remarkably firm skin, and trust me, in my clinical practice, I see them frequently, you are not looking at the result of a good moisturizer. You are looking at a masterclass in internal cellular maintenance. You are looking at someone whose internal environment is so optimized, so rich in the building blocks of life, that their body has plenty of resources left over to keep their largest organ thriving. This is where we shift from passive consumers of cosmetic marketing to empowered architects of our own vitality. We stop trying to spackle over the cracks and start reinforcing the foundation. The beauty of this approach is that when you treat the skin from the inside out, you are simultaneously treating your entire physical vessel. The same targeted nutritional protocols that will wake up the fibroblasts in your face will also go to work on the connective tissues in your knees, the cartilage in your back, and the endothelial lining of your blood vessels. You are engaging in systemic rejuvenation. You are giving your brilliantly resilient body exactly what it has been waiting for to initiate deep, meaningful repair. And that repair begins with a very specific, actionable clinical protocol that you can start implementing today to completely redefine the biological age of your tissues. This is where we transition from understanding the science to actively commanding your biology, utilizing a step-by-step roadmap designed to empower you from the cellular level up. To wake up those resting fibroblasts, we must first flood your system with the precise raw materials they require to manufacture fresh, resilient collagen and elastin. Think of your body as a magnificent high-end manufacturing plant. If the delivery trucks stop bringing the steel, the factory has no choice but to halt construction. The steel for your skin and joints consists of 3 specific amino acids: glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. You can source these building blocks abundantly through high-quality, slow-simmered bone broths, slow-cooked meats, or a clean, third-party tested hydrolyzed collagen peptide supplement that has already broken these proteins down into easily absorbable fragments for your digestive system. But delivering the steel is only step 1. The factory workers, your fibroblasts, require a very specific tool to weave those raw amino acids together into a strong, tight structure. That non-negotiable tool is bioavailable vitamin C. Without adequate, continuous levels of vitamin C circulating in your bloodstream, your body literally cannot assemble stable collagen fibers, no matter how much high-quality protein you consume. We all know that a severe deficiency in this vitamin causes scurvy, where the body's connective tissues physically break down because collagen synthesis halts. While true scurvy is rare today, what I see constantly in clinical practice is a subclinical deficiency. Your body might have just enough vitamin C to keep your vital organs functioning, but absolutely nothing left over to optimize your skin and joint cartilage. By intentionally saturating your tissues with whole food sources of vitamin C, like bright bell peppers, citrus fruits, strawberries, and dark leafy greens at every single meal, you push your biology from mere survival mode into a state of active, vibrant regeneration. Once we have the production line running and your body is generating new collagen, our next vital clinical objective is to protect that newly minted tissue from the destructive rusting process we discussed earlier, glycation. To stop the formation of Advanced Glycation End-products, or AGEs, we must achieve master level control over your blood sugar. Spikes in your blood glucose are the primary driver of this skin stiffening, joint aching process. The most powerful intervention here is not necessarily eating less, but changing the biological architecture of your meals. By simply adopting the clinical habit of eating your soluble fibers and healthy proteins first, and saving your complex carbohydrates for the very end of the meal, you create a physical buffer in your digestive tract. This dramatically blunts the rapid release of glucose into your bloodstream. Furthermore, introducing a brisk 10 to 15-minute walk immediately after your largest meal of the day acts as a profound metabolic sink. Your active leg muscles will vacuum up that circulating glucose to use for immediate energy, completely preventing it from lingering in your blood and caramelizing your beautiful new collagen fibers. Another non-negotiable pillar of this empowerment protocol is optimizing your body's primary repair window, which only opens during deep restorative sleep. During the deepest stages of your sleep cycle, your pituitary gland releases powerful pulses of human growth hormone, or HGH. This hormone is the master conductor of your body's repair orchestra. It is the exact signal that tells your fibroblasts to wake up and start building. To maximize this natural rejuvenation, we must approach sleep not as a luxury, but as a critical clinical intervention. This means aggressively protecting your circadian rhythm by exposing your eyes to bright, natural sunlight first thing in the morning to set your biological clock, and strictly limiting blue light exposure from screens in the evening, which destroys your natural melatonin production. It also means creating a sleep sanctuary, keeping your bedroom aggressively cool, ideally between 60 and 65 degrees, which signals to your brain that it is time to drop your core body temperature and initiate that deep structural repair. But to truly take charge of your cellular vitality, we need to look under the hood with objective clinical data. This brings us to the most empowering tool in your arsenal, standard blood chemistry. You have the right to know exactly what is happening in your metabolic engine, and you can absolutely leverage your routine doctor's visits to get this information. When you go in for your Medicare Annual Wellness Visit, I want you to step into that office, not as a passive patient, but as the CEO of your own health. While Medicare is wonderfully designed to catch acute illness, its standard preventative panels often miss the early, subtle metabolic shifts that accelerate biological aging. Therefore, you must proactively request specific markers, ask your primary care physician to run an HbA1c test, which is a brilliant 3-month average of your blood sugar levels and a direct measurement of how much glycation is happening in your tissues. Ask for a fasting insulin test, which tells us how hard your pancreas is working long before your blood sugar actually rises on a standard test. And finally, request an HSCRP, or high sensitivity C-reactive protein test, which reveals the hidden systemic inflammation that acts like a smoldering fire, degrading your collagen from the inside out. I know that navigating the healthcare system and dealing with insurance coverage can sometimes feel like speaking a foreign language, but here's a clinical insider secret on how to approach this seamlessly. If you simply ask for these tests for longevity, or skincare, Medicare, and private insurances will almost certainly flag them as not medically necessary and refuse to cover the cost. However, if you frame these requests around very real, documented clinical concerns, such as wanting to establish a rigorous baseline for your cardiovascular risk, monitoring for prediabetes because you want to be proactive about your metabolic health, or assessing your systemic inflammation to protect your joint mobility, these tests seamlessly become part of a legitimate, covered diagnostic workup. Your physician wants to support your health span, but they also have to code the paperwork correctly for the insurance providers. By speaking the language of preventative metabolic care, you give your doctor the precise clinical justification they need to order these critical labs. When you combine these strategic pillars, you are no longer leaving your biological age to chance. You are executing a highly sophisticated protocol that commands your body to thrive. This shift in perspective is the ultimate victory. It is the moment you realize that the narrative of slowing down or fading away is a story you simply do not have to participate in. Imagine yourself 5, 10, or even 20 years from today. Picture yourself waking up with a body that feels fluid and capable, walking into a room with the kind of radiant, resilient skin that reflects the vibrant fire you still feel inside. This isn't a dream of being young again. It is something much more powerful. It is the reality of being your most optimized, authentic self at every stage of your life. The science is clear. Your cells are listening to the instructions you give them. When you feed your body the right amino acids, when you master your metabolic rhythm to stop glycation in its tracks, and when you advocate for your health in the doctor's office, you are sending a loud, clear message to your biology that you are still in the game. You are telling your fibroblasts to keep building, your mitochondria to keep firing, and your spirit to keep shining. We are redefining what it means to be 90 in this country. We are moving away from a culture of decline and toward a culture of peak vitality. You are part of a pioneering generation that is proving that age is not a destination, but a beautiful, evolving landscape that you have the power to shape. I want you to feel a deep sense of pride in the wisdom you've gained and the vessel that carries it. Those lines of laughter and experience on your face are the maps of a life well lived, but the structural health beneath them is yours to reclaim and protect. You have the tools, you have the science, and most importantly, you have the agency to determine how you show up in the world. As your partner in this journey toward a longer, healthier, and more vibrant health span, I am honored to stand with you. We are dismantling the myths of aging together, one cellular signal at a time. If you are ready to continue this masterclass in reclaiming your vitality and want to stay at the absolute cutting edge of longevity science, I invite you to follow this channel and subscribe. By joining our community, you are ensuring that you never miss a clinical insight or research-backed strategy designed specifically for your vibrant lifestyle. This is about more than just skin or joints. It is about the total optimization of your human experience. Thank you for your time, your curiosity, and your commitment to your own health. I look forward to seeing you in our next consultation. Until then, stay vibrant, stay informed, and keep commanding your biology to thrive.